Friends, Dr. G here again. Still June 10, 2014. I'm on a bit of a roll here, so I thought I'd read another excerpt from my book titled The Gift. This particular excerpt is titled The Gentle Way to Paradise, a subject very close to my heart. I believe in doing things gently where possible and not forcing things. Okay, let's begin. Years ago in Houston, when we lived in Houston, Texas, my wife and children and I, our property, our house, was hit by a vicious tornado. Luckily, the tornado stopped in our backyard and did not hit the actual house. We had dozens of huge pine trees in the backyard. The tornado hit one of them and broke it into 3 pieces, about 25 feet each in length. One of those pieces went right through one of the back rooms of our house, like the proverbial hot knife through butter. Luckily, though, no one was in that room at the time. Many years before that, as a teenager in Africa, I was trapped out in the veld. That's Afrikaans for the vast, wide open fields of South Africa. So I was trapped out in the veld during a gorgeous but powerful summer storm. I love storms to this day. They bring me to life. They invigorate me. So I took shelter under a big tree and settled down on my haunches to enjoy this phantasmagoric spectacle. The fierce storm leveled many rigid vegetation in its way, but I noticed that the willow trees growing on the side of the river gently swayed with the storm. They danced with it, in fact, almost swaying to the tune of the thunder and lightning and the howling of the wind, undamaged. Okay? Willow trees gently swaying with the storm, gently dancing with the storm, not resisting it, remained undamaged. So, comparing the 2 storms, the one in Houston, Texas, and the other one in South Africa, the lesson to me was very clear. If you're as rigid and hard as a pine tree, you run the risk of being broken and living in hell. Misery. Now men, the male spirits, tend to be this way. We are by DNA, we can't help it. We're hard, we're rigid, we're unmalleable. Oh dear, 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 dear. If on the other hand, we were as gentle and pliable and malleable like a willow tree, we would bend and sway and cavort and enjoy and dance with the storms of life. And we would live to tell the tale, unscathed, and enter paradise. Now, women, on the other hand, the feminine spirits, tend to be this way. Like willow trees, they are by nature soft, flexible, pliant, gentler than the harsh male spirit. So as I mentioned, I love storms. I also love doing them. As we used to say in Houston, very huge storms are. They're expansive, seemingly infinite, kind of like us. That's right, you and me. We are expansive and huge and infinite. I am blessed to live within spitting distance from the Mediterranean Sea. One afternoon, a rare storm moved through our town. Wind, thunder, rain, etc. Man, I hurriedly and excitedly put on my parka and rushed outside to do the storm. I allowed my gaze to roam the immense spread of water that we call the Mediterranean and welcomed the hypnotic spell it cast on me. It was exhilarating. But that's not my point today. My point today is that as we bob up and down like a cork on life's ocean, we often feel small and victimized by the cosmos. We sink into the dream and buy the illusion that we're just a helpless pawn in a universal chess game. We're lucky if we get the proverbial 3 square meals a day. But my friends, my Hellene heritage, the heritage that sparked the Spartan Empire and movies and true stories like the 300 Spartans, that heritage of mine, that Greek Hellene heritage, rebels against such an existence, which frankly is a euphemism for slavery as far as I'm concerned. I want to be like a storm. I want to be vast, unrestrained, untamed, with endless potential, pursuing my thing with a passionate abandon. Above all, I want to do it according to the dictates of my deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, not someone else's. I want to be like Richard Bach's Jonathan Livingston Seagull, boundless and unfettered. Storms, therefore, my friends, teach us, if we allow them, how to soar, how to ascend, how to spread our wings and mount the stars. That being said about storms, at times, especially we men, need to tread the gentle way. This maxim, this philosophy, this way of life holds very true in life generally. I'm not saying here, though, mind you, that there are not times to be rigid and staunch and strong and fierce to defend yourself, your family, your children, your community, etc. Balance is what we seek in life, is it not? As the good book says in Ecclesiastes, there is a time and a season for everything. You decide. You be the captain of your ship. That's my invitation to you. So, till next time, I bid thee bon voyage. This is Dr. Gabrielides. Take care, my friends. I love you all.